entrepreneurship, self-reliance, and more. AfroEconomics gives you the guidance and tools you can use to develop and sustain wealth. Check out AfroEconomics on your favorite social media platforms. You will find us everywhere. Plus, enjoy my weekly AfroEconomics podcast. There are many levels of AfroEconomics membership, including the free online access membership level called No Excuses. So make no excuses and check out afroeconomics.com today. Powered by JB Bryan Financial Group, Incorporated, a registered investment advisory firm. #AfroEconomics. AfroEconomics. Thank you so much. It's time. It's AfroEconomics Live. Oh, I appreciate this opportunity to share your midday on Wednesday with you. Come on in the studio. If you can see the link, we got Ms. Lee with us. She is out and about in the sunniness, but still took time to say hi to me and check out a structured financial development program, discussion, chat. We're going to do all that. We're going to do all of that. I want you to feel comfortable asking questions. I'm going to try to make sure that I can see it. Ask the questions. Make sure that you go to afroeconomics.com, go to JBBRYAN.com and sign up. We have the No Excuses, absolutely complimentary membership. But I had a couple of people who signed up and they didn't put like a last name and stuff like that. So the birth date is important and the last name is important. How you doing, Lavender? Come on in the studio. We got Miss Lee in here. She don't want to be in there by herself. Stone Mountain, Georgia. Come on in the studio. I don't know if you can see it. I better share that again because they sometimes when you are it will go away after a while, depending on what social media that you're using. But that's the link for members to come into the studio so you can ask questions, you can give me some feedback, so you can just be there. Whatever floats your boat, you're in charge. So for an update, I'm so excited about Friday and our members meeting. I'm going to talk about a case study on trust. I found this trial. Y'all know I love true crime. And I'm telling you, this trial has the lawyer on trial explaining the entire and best use of trust. Man, stuff that we've talked about, but to see it in real life, and the attorney is talking about, how to use the trust, why the trust mattered, why the person that was murdered developed the trust and things like that. It's a murder trial. So we're going to have a good time on Friday. It even includes a prenuptial agreement, a buyout contract between partners in a business, and a trust. We're going to be able to go over like a lot of legal financial issues. And it even talks about how the attorney was referred by the financial advisor, the attorney that wrote the prenuptial agreement that actually is the same attorney that ended up working with the trust. So it's exciting. And the buyout contract that they have for the business, buy-sell agreement would be the proper use of the term. But that is a way that we can use life insurance to buy out our partner if we have businesses together. So it's so important to have a financial advisor who understands these things so that when we want and need to get a lawyer involved for specific legal things, we know exactly what we're going for and we know exactly what we need. And we're also going to talk about, on our members only meeting. And this is also, even if you sign up for the completely complimentary free membership, you still can come into the members only meeting. So we're going to have in our members on Friday, we have multimillionaires, we have people with multi-dollars. It doesn't matter. It's about creating a safe place where we can have financial empowerment discussions. Everybody can benefit from each other. I believe that we all have something that we can share with each other. Even though, as a financial advisor, I'm going to tell you that that every the things that you think that have value go far beyond just dollars. There's knowledge and information and integrity and all these things that there's 10 principles to Afroeconomics, and the core of it is God. We cannot overlook, like, there's just so much that we can do for one another, and it goes well beyond money. It's about developing a strong community that cares for one another, and helping each other and going over. And then, I hate that the case study has to be such a sad story, but sometimes when the story is real, and this is real, it's a real life story. Like, the one time I did a case study and it was about a real life story, a person right outside of Atlanta, and he had passed away, and a stranger came and took over his entire estate. Like, it's crazy, the things that really can happen. Wow. Well, oh, thank you, E. Ramsey. Yes. Good afternoon right back at you, Andrew. Yes, indeed. So let's go over. So that is just to say about, like, things that are coming up. And I'll do that. I'm doing that on Friday because it allows us to get more intense, because we're on the Zoom discussion. You can talk right back to me and we can go back and forth, and you can ask questions a little bit easier. And, since this discussion is open to the public, like, some of you may not be as comfortable just, asking things and sharing things. So the membership meeting is to create a safe place where we can have more intricate and detailed discussions. But we're going to do our best on this structured approach to financial decisions for this one. So the thesis for today's discussion is that I believe that we make better financial decisions if we make a plan, if we move away from just doing whatever we want to do, doing whatever feels comfortable, doing whatever is just, convenient and presented, but to actually put together a structure on how, you make financial decisions for yourself and for your family. Like, if you've developed a budget for your household, but continuously you're allowing things to just happen and break up your budget, and things just, you said, I'm going to spend 5,000 a month, and then you take care of your things for 5,000 a month, and you have $1,000 left over, and then you have a friend that says, oh, I need $2,000, can you let me borrow $2,000? Oh, can I, and then the next month you have another friend that says, oh, I need so if they need 3,000 and the other one needs 2,000, you're constantly messing up your budget. So learning that I've developed a structure, but the point of my structure is to make sure that I stick to the plan that I set for myself, right? So we want to create a budget or financial plan for yourself and stick to it. It's as if you save at work, but you continuously take out loans on the money. Well, if you saving at work, and then you'll say, well, I'm taking the loan out against my own, it's my own money, so it doesn't really matter. I'm taking out the loan against myself. Well, you were saving $200 a pay period. Now repaying that loan costs you $200 a pay period. So your real savings is zero, because all you're doing is paying back the loan that you took out. Oh, good for you. Give love wants to talk. Is that, well, it's because you're not using your real name. We're gonna find you, Give Love, though. We're gonna find you. And we're gonna say, yeah, that's you. That's Give Love. But if you had, like, Bob Jones up there, you wouldn't feel more comfortable. I don't think so. If Bob Jones was your real name, you're just like, I can use whatever name. Yeah, I need your help to budget with a fixed income. That's right. You do. You look, and the Winter Rose, I can help you with that for sure. And because it should be easy to budget with a fixed income, because you could say, look, I have a fixed income. Look, leave me alone. But look, then they'll say in response, but I have no income. So yeah, where the Give Love said, say no to those friends who need money and say no to the new credit. Yes. And the loans. Yeah, just say no, right? Just saying no is the hard part. And it goes along with developing an ability for delayed gratification. Because in reality, the person that's asking is not the problem. Your inability to accept the pain that it causes you to not make it better for them, that's the problem. Like, we feel like where it's where you kind of step in and you become God, and that you become the God, and the God complex makes you feel like you have to be the one to make it right. You have to be the one to make it right for everybody, even because you feel like you can make it right, not realizing that just because you come up with the money that they need, you have not repaired the problem that created that need for them. Wow, a blast from the past. Goodness gracious, Paul March. So good to see your name. You're so proud of me. No, I'm proud of you. Oh, I love you, Paul March. That's so sweet. That's so sweet. I can't believe we lost Greg. Can't believe we lost Greg, Wow. You were such a good friend to him. I remember, what is almost 20 years ago, my baby was a baby, and I met you. And she says, and Greg said, it's my best friend. It's my best friend. I want you to meet Paul. Like, he would be so proud that we are keeping in touch. That's so good. See, our lives can touch each other. The best thing that we can do for each other as friends is help them get what they need, but you don't have to be the one that does it. And I know Mr. March will say that, it's like, no, like, you have to learn to say no. Delayed gratification is such a powerful tool that there's a study called the marshmallow effect, where they take these kids into these rooms and they put marshmallows in front of the children, and they say to the children, wait till I get back. Don't touch the marshmallows. Wait till I get back. And they did research on the children who actually were able to wait until the facilitator got back, the children that waited for the facilitator to come back, Chantel, they were they were the children who later in life, isn't this amazing, Chantal? Like they studied them for years. And they to put the kids that did what they said, wait. They said when we come back, we'll give you more marshmallows. If you just wait, we'll give you more. But there were kids, of course, that could not wait. And that's the ones who have to make it better for their friends who can't put it off. You feel me on that, Chantal? Like that, it's just you have to teach. You feel me on the delayed gratification, the power in that?
Yes.
You have to teach our young people that, okay, I know you want to do that now, but I need you to wait until and I mean, and it was so powerful to see that the children who had learned to delay it, it ultimately through life, it showed how much more successful they were. Like we always think, oh, the success is because of the degree, or the success is because, of something that they can obtain externally. But the success is actually what they obtain internally. The character that they develop. I don't have to appease everybody else. I can wait on that. I don't have to, get that right now. And that can, so many things that when you show that child, like then they're learning that, oh, investments take time. I'm gonna have to put this in to become a good electrician like Mr. March, you know what I mean? Took the time to learn that and to get the certifications that are needed and learn what the different circuitries mean and things like that. Like you have to, they have to somehow get that into us that you can't have everything you want right now. You can't buy everything you want right now. And you'll see so many things like that are going on. If you look at true crime, things that are going on now, y'all know, I don't know if y'all know, but I had this fascination with these true crime videos. Like, so that's why Friday our case study is on an estate planning true crime. But these most of the time when you look at why did the crime happen? Why did the crime happen? The inability for the person to adapt to delayed gratification. They thought that they had to get it right now. They thought that they deserved everything that everybody else had right now, that they were going to get it by any, you know what I mean? And not take the time and see that the power is in the process. The power is sticking to the budget. The power is sticking to the plan. I was telling a client a few minutes ago, I said, the people that, in my opinion, that do the best retirement planning are the people that like work for, especially the federal government. They'll be like a year or so deep into federal employee. They'll be like talking about their retirement, but they'll be like, they will have been at the federal government for 2 years. They're already talking about their retirement. They're like, they'll buckle down. They'll buckle down. Do you remember that, Miss Lee? Like when people be just like, oh, I'm gonna, don't be like year number 2. I don't know if you remember your year number 2 or year number 3, but by year number 5, you were thinking about retirement. Tell the truth. You were thinking about, you're like, oh, when I retire, but that is the reason that you are young and beautiful and retired is because you caught on to the power of delayed gratification. And you said, okay, I just got to stay here.
I gotta stick this out. I gotta like pay this. I gotta put this money away. I gotta do these things. Like, and I think that a lot of times we're not showing the young people that where you started from. They don't know, you know what I'm saying, where you started from. They just know where you are. But we gotta tell them, you know what I'm saying, where we started from. Oh, hard working folk, we gotta tell these young people that, like, if you do right, do right long enough. Don't give up. And don't believe that hype about, oh, that you got to do wrong in order to get ahead, and this and this and that. Like, we got to show them, like, look, tell them, say, look at JB Bryan, say, you know what I'm saying, these are, y'all are good. This is, look at that, this lady's a good person, young, got the rest of her life now, but she buckled down early, and you can do this. But you had to start thinking about it. She's had to start thinking about it early. Okay, I'm not going to be here forever. I don't want to be here forever. I got to make a plan. I got to plan this thing. I got to say that, and then you can have everything that God wants for you. But we have to make the commitment to everything is not going to happen at the same time. Everything is just not. So we want to make sure that we take the time to educate ourselves on the importance of having the emergency fund. So that what I talk about, like when you first sign up for AfroEconomics membership, and people are just like, I want to get my financial house in order. Included in their membership is the financial planning software, so they can start looking at, okay, if I save this amount, this much. The systems are so smart now that it will tell me, if they do that, the likelihood of them actually having enough. So when I can tell my clients easily, oh, you don't have to worry about this. Look, unless you try really, really hard to do everything I say don't do, you're going to be set for the rest of your life if you stick to this plan. So no matter how set, you are, you have to be committed to how, that I'm going to stick to my plan. Because like someone said about being on a stick, one of you said about being on a fixed income, everybody should think of themselves as a fixed income. No, even if the income's not fixed, but while you're working, how much you're going to make based on 40 hours a week, based on 60 hours a week. You know what you're going to make. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Make sure. Good afternoon, Mr. Wynn. Good afternoon, Soft Twist. That's right. You can invest at whatever age that you want. 70 is not too old to invest. 70 is young. People are living past 100 years old. If you're 70 and you're living right, it's highly likely that you could live past 100. Isn't that something? Yes, it's not too old. But at whatever age we are, we have to make investments that are appropriate, or that are appropriate for you. Has nothing to do with your age. It's kind of like, investing is just like exercise. All of us should exercise all the time. The only thing that could change is like what type of exercise you do. So, you might have, like when you were in high school and college, you might have been, doing dunks and everything. It's, blasting down the backboard and blah, 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 and this, and, and now that you're 70, so like maybe it's not basketball anymore, but you could put together a league, 70 years old, y'all. Look, get y'all a trampoline and do that backboard too. Do the dunks. You could try. Bring it down. Bring it up. Who am I to say? 70 might be the age where you really can dunk the best. Don't tell me, look, as far as I'm concerned, I want to get stronger for the rest of my life. I'm not falling for that crap where they say, as you get older, you're not as strong and this and that. The only reason that you get older and you're not as strong is because you're not doing the same thing to stay as strong. You got to do that. You got, in order to stay strong, in order to keep jumping, you got to keep jumping. I bet if somebody was jumping from 20 and they're 70 and they're still jumping, they still have a very good jump at 70, better than any other 70-year-old because they never stopped jumping. Well, that's the way it is with your money. Same thing. You got to always, you buckle in at 20. I've been building this business since I was in my 20s. So when someone thinks that their business will be like my business and they just started their business, even if they went out there and they just got a whole bunch of investors and then they said, yeah, my business is bigger than her business, because they have a seriously missing component. They don't have any content. They don't have any substance. They don't have any 9/11 that their company survived. They don't have an Iran attack that the company survived and the clients got through, and the conversation that they don't have the educational material. They don't have it. That's called compounding return. That's called compounding return. Experience. So so you want to put yourself in a position to benefit from every day, and that's how your investments do. The more time we give the investments, that's the key. That's the key. Time. Giving your money time. Giving your money time. You give your money time to grow, and we're picking good investments, you're going to be good. But some people get older, and then they go, I ain't got much time. I ain't got time. Well, if you ain't got time, then you shouldn't invest. If you ain't got time at 20, you can't invest. Investments are for people who have time. If you decided at 70 you don't have any time, then you don't need to be doing anything that involves delayed gratification, because it's about making money over time. The Bible says that you decide for your children's children. Children's children. That's time. It's telling us that we have to have time. And it might just not be just your time. So, you 70, but you got kids or you got beneficiaries and this and that. You're expecting, unless we all die on the same day, I believe we all have time. If I run out of time, what? My child has time. If my child runs out of time, my grandchildren have time. If there's time. But if there's run out, we're all gone, then none of it really even matters. So all we're doing is investing in that if we're still here. Because if the world ends, we don't have to worry about none of it. I hope you're not going to be worried about none of it. I'm not going to be worried about that. I would hate to be Will Smith with the dog. Right, Ms. Davis? So you just last one. You last or you first? Look, was Will Smith first or last? Was he first or last?
I don't know.
Did you see that movie where he's with this German Shepherd and he's the world ended and he's here with a transition radio? Oh my goodness, you see that? I forgot what it's called. I was but I don't know if we would consider him last or first. You know what I'm saying? Him. Exactly. Let me see what Chantel. You remember that movie with Will Smith, Chantel?
Yeah, I think it's Legend.
You know what I'm saying? Was he last or first?
I think he was last.
I'm so glad that somebody else watched movies. I don't know. Miss Davis, do you even watch movies?
I don't even look at TV. So
you
no.
Don't look at TV. You don't know what you're doing. I know.
I don't know.
Exactly. Chantel, I can't believe you took your face down. Chantel was that's why I put it up there, because I want you to get comfortable. There you go. Look at that pretty face. Look at that pretty face.
Hi, Chantel.
If you don't do it, you'll never get comfortable with it. That's why most women won't log in. If they think I'm not doing that. JB ain't gonna get me up there. She goes, I'll be but it will never get comfortable with it. We will never get comfortable with it if you don't do it. Now you'll always be comfortable, right, Miss Davis? Don't you remember the first
You
time
will.
you did it, Miss Davis? Like, I know. And you'd be like,
You
what?
will.
You're like,
Yeah.
she got me all up there. What's going on? I know. No, I'm just like, I don't even care.
I do have a question. I'm going to ask you to rewind for a minute. So if you take from your 401k and you make a withdrawal or hardship, are you taking out of the market at that time when you take that money?
Yeah,
Although you got to pay that money back, but
that's a
does
good
that take
point.
you out of the market?
That's a good point. And I didn't know that till I really did it. I did CBS asked me to come in and talk. Well, yeah, basically I had an opportunity to really talk about taking loans
Uh-huh.
from work. And that's when I realized they actually do sit it over in a fund. And the only money that it makes is the interest rate that they're charging you. So if the market kicks butt while you have that loan out there, you're losing. You're
You're
basically
losing and you're missing out.
you're not you know what I'm saying? But you're not growing as well as
Growing.
the market. Yeah, like
But you're missing out of
you're
what you
missing
could have
out.
had that not been the case.
Because remember they would say, you're paying the interest to yourself. You're paying the interest to yourself. So I never really thought deeply enough about it. And I said, oh, snap. That's because you're not making any money anywhere else. All you're getting is the interest that you're charging to yourself. So, and that's based on interest rates at that time. So I'm so glad too. Part V 2020 said they're glad that they made it to alive. Oh, that's so positive. Y'all make me feel so good. This was my birthday. This is my birthday. We're gonna pretend it's my birthday. It's such a nice, y'all so nice. But my birthday was last Tuesday. You're like, let it go, Jay. That was last week. But yeah, I think that's a very good point. A lot of people just don't realize that literally taking out a loan can be slowing down your money. And especially if you have a good allocation and I got you all set up and then you take that loan out, you're taking that 20,000 or that 50,000 or whatever you did and you're moving it right over there and you're just getting that fixed interest rate. Now, if it's a horrible market for some reason, then and you got that over there, well, yeah, you're what you're paying yourself is doing better than the market at that particular time. But over the long term, generally you're underperforming. Yeah, and you could also save the interest that you would pay someone else. Exactly. And like say, Mr. Purrier, say like someone is like you gave someone else money. That's the money you could have put into or towards that loan, or you could have paid off your debts. I think that some of the nicest people are broke. And then like their book, I really like this book called As a Man Thinketh. And it talks about like who really is the victim, the master or the slave. Because the master that's taking from someone else, becomes weak because they're taking from someone else. And the slave becomes weak, and I'm saying like the person in debt is the slave. The slave becomes weak because they're depending so much on the master for everything. So at some point, especially in today's society, we're allowing ourselves to be in that slave position. Or are you putting yourself in the master position and you're weakening yourself because you feel good because somebody owe you money, they owe you. I don't know, what you think he said he needs the bank? Let's see what that says. Do you see that one? It's kind of cut off.
Mm-hmm.
Does he say he need the bank? I don't know. What does it say?
I don't know.
Oh, that's why I'm not the bank. That's why. Exactly. He said that's why he's not the bank. Yeah, you can't be the bank. You can't be the bank and be the nice person. You know what I'm saying? Or put yourself or if you are the bank you put yourself in the master role, and then, like, say you did choose to be the bank, as soon as you start winning, they hate you. They hate you. And even there's a large number of people who hate you or will hate you just because you can.
Mm-hmm.
That's when your feelings really get hurt. Because they don't want to really ask you for nothing, because they don't really like you. And the more you do well, the more you do right. But that is promise. That's biblical. That is promise. So you have to realize the more that God pulls you out of that, the more that God pulls you away from that behavior of, feeling like you have to help these people, because then you feel more accepted, then you feel more needed, then you feel like, and then at the same time, like you're not directing and focusing on yourself. Y'all really want to make me mad is when you're doing something for someone else, and then you tell me I don't have money to do this for myself. I don't mind if anybody goes broke taking care of themselves. Because if you go broke taking care of yourself, I bet you'll never be broke. It won't even, that's impossible. I mean, it doesn't even make any sense. How could you go broke going taking care of yourself? You're getting good food. You're getting good workout. You're getting, getting good help. You're getting the support. You're surrounding yourself with good people. You're taking vacation. You're taking a break. You're being active. You're doing these good things for yourself. You're socializing, this and that, and you're not going to go broke. You're not going to go broke doing good things for you. So that has to be part of your structure. Is this good for me? Is this a good move for me and my family? Is this a good move for me and my family? That has to be part of the structure. Is this outside of my budget that I set for myself? That's why I tell you, Ms. Davis, like, don't ever tell anybody I don't have the money, because it's not true. We have the money. But just because you have the money doesn't mean you're supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. It's not your responsibility. So don't block your blessing by saying, I don't have it. Just say, I cannot. I cannot. It's even hard for me to say it, right? But just know.
But see, what you don't get is, it's easier for me to tell somebody I don't have it and I can just cut it off right there, rather than reroute it and take it all the way down to Florida and bring it all the way up to Alaska. Let me just stop it right here. I really just don't have it. And
Amen.
I don't.
Amen.
I don't, maybe I should say I don't have it to give. But
yes, you do.
listen,
you have it to give. You have
well,
it
they ain't getting it. Okay.
Exactly.
They
That's
are
what I'm
not
saying.
gonna
I
get
mean, I literally feel that it is not healthy for us to say that we don't have it to give, or you don't have it when you have it. Why in the world should they put you into I lied mode? You ain't gotta lie. Just say no. My dad used to say no to me all the time. My dad ain't had no, but look, but catch a man that feels guilty. He feels like he has to say yes. That's what trips me out. A man that doesn't feel like he's been there for his kids always feels like he has to say yes. And neither one of y'all might not be familiar with that syndrome, but a man like my dad, like your Vernon, like you know what I'm saying? They did for their kids. When you are there every day, you don't feel guilty saying no. Nah, don't have it, bro. Don't have it, champ. No, we're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to save that. Hey, dad, like, work every day. My dad will go, no.
I had to learn this, and somebody pointed this out to me. They said quite often, when people ask you for money, you're not the only person they've asked. They've asked several others.
Well, next.
It's all about how you're going to respond and what you're going to do. But they've
Next.
asked 10 or 12 other people. I
Well,
used to work with a guy that would borrow money on payday. Do you hear me? On payday.
Yep.
What?
Yep. But a lot of parents don't teach their kids. They'll teach their kids I think for y'all, thank God for y'all, like, and y'all, both of you are very into young people being smart, like, and that's very important. Like Mr. Puryear said, some people can't retire because they're taking care of their adult children. That's so sad. And they have parents that can't take care of themselves. It's so true. That sandwich, according to research, a Black person is more likely to be in a sandwich than a white person. Meaning you got to take care of the generation above and you got to take care of the generation below you. That's sad.
And usually it's one workhorse doing that. It's not two or three. It's the one person that the family is leaning on the most.
Oh, that's a good one. You see what they said? Say the way that the account was set up. Now, y'all know y'all can say that. Because if it's got to go through JB, it's easy for you to say no. Like that. Well, the way it's set up, I can't help you. Like, it's so cheesy. Kevin Hart said that. That's so cute. Like, yeah. Just the way it's set up. You get to them. You can't take care of yourself. You can't take care of your own.
And loan that money, you're not getting it back. 90% of the time, it's not coming back. And if it does, it's going to come back in fractions, and it'll be hard for you to even keep up what they borrowed.
When I know I got at least, like, I don't know, probably 20, 30,000 out there. I don't think about that money. I don't think I'd be in court half the week collecting the money. I don't think about that money. But that was decades ago. I'm telling you, decades. If I adjusted that for inflation, that person, she don't exist no more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She don't exist no more. So the key is, like, creating your structure, setting up your budget. That's what I spend. Continue to make sure that you realize that delayed gratification, you will win. At some point, we will win. Now, having an emergency fund, setting up stuff to be automatic. Like I was saying, like, when both of y'all, before y'all retired, you just had to learn to save automatically. Save before you get it. Just save. Just save. Just put it away. And people ask, how you do it? I put it away. You had to go without. Every dime that you saved, you could have spent. It takes discipline. It takes discipline. It's an art. It's an art to it. It's an art. Said, that's right. Sandra said, no, it's a complete statement. Amen. I learned. You're going to learn. Debts. I'm telling you, the way that the things are set up now, debt is going to get out of control on a level we never heard of. These little payments, like, you don't have to pay for nothing now. So they have our young people breaking everything into 2, 3, 4 payments. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they go, oh, you ain't got to buy that right now. It'd be $50. They tell them they can do $13 a week. Like, come on. So when you do $13 a week on your $50 payment, then what do? They go buy something else. Mm-hmm. With the others, they go, oh, I got $40. So then they go buy something else for $13 a week. Then they buy something else. They can get 3 things. You see how much that helps that person, that business, by setting up those payments? So you took somebody from a $50 purchase to now they $150. So imagine if they started with a $100 purchase. Then they broke it down. Then all of a sudden they spending $1,000 because they broke it down into payments, and they not figuring out that how this is going to fall on them all of a sudden. Look, and then they do some, oh, well, you ain't got to pay no interest as long as you pay it off in 3 payments. And then what do they've set up all these other things. Now they can't do that. Yeah, sometimes it's Harvard, sometimes it's community college. There's a big difference. That'd be big difference. Look, you tell them you better go to Howard County. You better go to Howard County. You want to go to Harvard, go to HCC instead of HCC, Howard County Community College. Y'all know where that is? That's in Maryland. I think it's like, we're going to get you close. We're going to get you close. But I didn't even know, like, a lot of times we don't even know about our options. Like, kids aren't even like introduced to, if you went to this school, you could come out with no debt versus going to this school and coming out with debt. They think they have to have school loan debt. So when the government started saying, well, the maximum school, I think that now they have a maximum on the amount of debt that they can go into for undergrad, people got mad. Now you're going to sit there and limit the option. No, they're not limiting your options. They're not limiting your options. You can pay another way. But what they're saying is, we're going to help you not hurt yourself. We should be thanking God, because do you know that the large majority of Black young people who graduate with a school loan after 3 years have not made one payment? So what's that mean? That means they don't have a job or they've already messed up their credit. That's horrible, y'all. They shouldn't have those type of problems. Yeah, that affirm. Yeah, and look, and the Cash App too. Cash App doing payments and doing loans and stuff. Miss Triplett said you get people in trouble with the paying for. Yeah, no, I didn't even know it existed, Miss Triplett, till I was found myself getting on what's it called, Spirit Airline, coming back from Miami. I was desperate. I had to find a trip. I didn't even know that Spirit had like a reputation. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. And then I was like, wow, this airline to get me home was like, I don't know, like $300 or whatever. It was a cheap. Maybe it was $150. I don't know. So then it said, would you like to split this into payment? I had never seen that in my life. Never seen that in my life. I wonder if that's how it became so attractive to our community, because they do those payments on that. Like, because I fly Delta all the time. It has never asked, do I want to split it into payments?
I think
Spirit is the
Spirit
only
recently started. I don't think they opened up with that. I think they.
No, that was years ago. That was during the
Really?
pandemic. Yeah.
Oh.
And it was Black folk everywhere. I did not know. I didn't know anything about Spirit. I didn't know. Not that I just knew that I was like, thank God they're going to get me back to Richmond and it's going to be good. Like, and then, but it said that I can break it into payments. Thank God I didn't need it. But I did not know that existed. Yeah, yes, Mr. Purrier, it is. Don't they, Ms. Lee, have a requirement in schools now that you have to have financial literacy?
They have it, but it's probably the most high level, creating a budget. Um, it doesn't go into enough depth. Both my kids had it.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not enough.
It's
It's
not practical. Like, you didn't feel like it was real practical.
not based on what they learned.
Yeah.
They still don't know basic
Yeah.
terms, and
Yeah.
they don't know enough.
Till you
Not
get in real life. And we don't. You know what I'm saying? Look, but they know more than most adults though, because they at least got that class. You know something? But like you said, it took you 20 years, 30 years ahead of them. You know what I'm saying? To know that they're not telling them enough. Yeah. Did you feel like it was a lot of emphasis on payment plans though? Did you see that in their curriculum? Like, it had like Capital One in there a lot and stuff like that, like on payments and explaining credit cards and explaining the car payment. And this one book that I looked at, And you probably didn't even see it because that's when the class gets fun to the kids. But it has it was like pick what car you want. You know what I'm saying? And then they showed them how to make a payment. It's in my opinion, I feel that they should have been saying, what car do you want? And here's how you can save up for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, why did it automatically only go to financing? And you know why? Because their corporate backer is a finance company. In that particular state for the book that I was looking at, like I was like, oh, this is bad. And we don't even know that they're socializing these kids to get into that payment mentality young. So they take like, oh, this is financial literacy, but they actually use it as a way to start teaching our kids that you don't save up, you don't do delayed gratification, you get a payment. Because, there were generations before us, they had to save up for a car. They go, well, I'm going to get a car next year. I'm going to build a house next year. I'm going to so and so. You know what I'm saying? They had to actually sacrifice. That's the delay. That's the power. That's the power right there. Wow, right? But it should be a full semester of application. But it should go, like it would have to go into, like, okay, what kind of job? Like, okay. So the kid, like this, he's saying application, but this would be good. Like if the kid decided that you said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And the kid says, oh, I want to be a teacher. So then they talk about what is required to become a teacher. And then they find out that they have to have a master's degree. So then we have to put down the average tuition for the undergrad, then the average tuition for the master's, and then talk about the salary for that teacher after that. You know me, the starting salary for that teacher. Then let's look at after taxes. Let's teach them taxes, what they're really bringing home, what the average rent for that zip code is they live in, and then, like, if they want to buy a house, what the down payment would be, so then they would have to, you know what I'm saying, learn about the down payment and the 20% down so they don't have the PMI. Like, they don't teach us that. They teach us, well, you want to get a house and go on with 1,000 down. Don't save nothing. Don't save nothing. Again, not teaching us delayed gratification. The government paying off our school loans blew away a whole generation of not understanding delayed gratification. Do you know how much that hurt them? You know what? You don't even have to worry about it. You just don't even worry about it. Like, we have to really what do you mean? I don't have to worry about it. But I did that. So how do we heal them of, I know I did that. I know I'm fine. I have all the ability in the world to pay that back, but the government told me I ain't got to. No health issues, no nothing. Got a job, this and that, but I ain't got paid. And it is mine. What do I'm saying? What do we do with that what do they do with that type of knowledge? Because there's no one saying, well, you know what? The government got rid of your school loan. So here's $300 that you would have been paying on your school loan. Put that away pre-taxed, or save that for your emergency fund. Let's save that, because you need to have $3,000 away for emergency.
Or more.
Yes. Because their rent now coming out of college is near $3,000 in a decent neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is a business. And exactly. Oh, nobody wants you to buy a car. They want you to finance that car. That's how they get it. Yes. And look, and the public service loan forgiveness, Lord, they should have never had after 10 years of making a payment and staying there and working, the government should be ashamed of itself. But the government should be ashamed of themselves. If you are a government worker, they should not be charging you interest for a government loan. Period. Period. In corporate America, employers pay for people's tuition all the time. I work for the government. You give me a requirement. I got to stay here 5 years, da, 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 but you're going to pay that tuition. Why that whole, to pay for 10 years and that? They've paid all the loan by that time. All they're doing is what? Taking off some of the interest, which should have never been charged. How can you make money off your own employee? So there was no favor there. But I don't know what it's going to be going forward. I don't know if it's going to even exist anymore. Plan your work and work your plan. That's right. So, in closing out, y'all, because we got to stick to the plan, doing this in just an hour. Make sure that we take our time. Make sure that we stay focused on what is important to us financially. Change our mindset from feeling guilty about everybody else, that the what they have, the mistakes that they've made, what's not going right for them. If you're that person, the overwhelming majority of y'all listening aren't going to be that type of person. I really spend a lot of time preaching to the choir, because y'all are people that will take the amount of time to listen to a financial advisor about these type of things. You're already committed to doing the right thing. No, he said the money comes from everyone. Corporate loan payment, still comes from the bottom line. Yeah, but at least the corporation doesn't expect you to pay interest to them for 10 years, if they pay. Because the truth of the matter is, you shouldn't have to work for them. Like, the knowledge that you're getting is benefiting them. If they sent you off to a continuing ed class and it was for a certification, and you come back to work, it's benefiting them. It's benefiting the business. And if they have that type of policy and they want you to get a better understanding because you're going to be better, it's going to help them make more money. Like, you shouldn't have to worry about that tuition if it's directly connected to your work. But so much for woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? But I feel like that's the right thing to do, especially as in our government. But we could, whoever our representatives are, we could tell them, we feel that government workers, teachers, and all of them, that they shouldn't have to pay interest on their school loans. Especially after they finish school and they come and they're a teacher, you could just, but not 10 years. But okay, and finally, so focus on your goals. Identify anything that might be a trigger for you. And I did want to, if you think that every time you invest that it has to be very aggressive or something like that, watching the news and you see on CNBC and it says, the market is down, does that trigger you? And then you go to your 401k or you call me and you're like, JB, sell, identify what really frightens you. Like, I had this one client, and it was during the pandemic, and we had that one day where the market went way down, and I had him in a guaranteed investment because I knew he was like that. I spent a lot of time getting to know my client so that I can sleep well at night. And I remember, him calling was 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I was like, oh my goodness. Oh, it must be major. I thought he was at the hospital or something. And then he called, and I said, hello. And he was like, oh my God, sell everything tomorrow. Sell everything tomorrow. I said, there's nothing to sell. You're not in the market. He's like, no, I don't know, but just change everything. Just change everything. And just, I was like, but you realize that your account is guaranteed. He was like, no, you're gonna have to like stay, you know. He got me all upset. Like he was so upset. Like the market wasn't even opening. I think like within 24 hours of whatever, I had to do something. I had to change something that made him feel better. But within 24 hours, the market was up like twice as much as it had dropped. Remember, that was like the best year. Which had absolutely nothing to do with his investments at all. I was like, but I felt such a sense of failure. And he apologized for it afterwards because he was like, I messed up, didn't I?
See, the thing with people sometimes like that is it's the news they've listened to or other people they've listened to.
Yeah.
You got to be careful
Because he
too.
couldn't
If
hear
you
it.
like on
He wasn't hearing
Facebook or
anything. Yeah.
the
It was
social
so
media,
sad.
and you and I'll talk about this later, but a whole bunch of stuff will pop up on your phone
So true.
that will really
So
throw you
true.
awry.
So
So
true.
you just have to kind of
So true.
not pay attention to all this stuff. You
So
click on
true.
one thing and
So
then
it's over. It's so true.
it is a floodgate just open.
Like you could put in something about like be your own banker, something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's on. It's on. You're gonna get every life insurance promotion ever made to man. After that, they go, oh, she interested in this. Da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna be scared and be like, why? Or the ones like, why that don't invest in your retirement account at work because you have to pay taxes and you got and you go, oh my goodness. And then as you click on one, it's on.
Mm-hmm.
One of my much loved clients was telling me about the car that she loves, and that car keeps coming up on my phone. I sent her a picture. I said, do you see this? I'm telling you, Chantel.
Yeah, it'll do it.
Her car keeps coming up on my phone over and over that call. I'm not even going to say the name of the car because it'll be coming up on your phone.
Yeah.
I searched, you know what I'm saying? I had the nerve to search because when she said it, I was like, so it comes up on Facebook, every social media. I'll be looked down, so-and-so, the ad, the car. They're going to have me buying the car. I think about, but it's funny. But remember, I told you about the lady who on a Sunday morning when I used to do Sunday mornings, and she was talking about that her and her son, they prayed about this car that he wanted, and he prayed and this and that. And I said, well, do you want me to tell you what happened? And she said, what? I said, do you want me to tell you what happened? I said, I don't want to offend you, but do you want me to tell you, what happened? And she said, go ahead, JB. Go ahead. Tell me what happened. Tell me what happened. And I said, well, that wasn't God. I mean, even though God is always here, but they're listening to you. So if you had your phone in that prayer closet and you and your son said what he wants, this and that is going to come up. Because she was so shocked that it came up. She said, Lord, girl, I had to get him that car. Because the next thing after I looked at my phone, JB, that car came up and she bought him the car. She bought him the car because she felt that was God. I said, but she should have stayed out of it. Like she didn't have the money to do that anyway, but it was, so I was like, so it was even more of the point that was not God. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you were her son could have bought the car on his own, but he got her all involved. He probably knew because he was young. He probably knew, like, if we can say this near this phone, it's going to be on and my mom's going to see it and she going to give me that car. And she did. She said, it was a so-and-so, you so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. She got that boy that car. I said, oh, she hasn't come back in since. I haven't seen her since. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. AfroEconomics loves you. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you too, Queens, being with me today. It really makes a difference. Y'all don't know how much I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Ms. Lee. Thank you, Ms. Davis. Thank God for y'all. I'll be here. Y'all take care. JB at JBBRYAN.com. If y'all need me, I'm gonna play this this commercial. I'm trying to do better about this. I love y'all.
2 o'clock, JB.
Huh? We'll talk. 2 o'clock.
I'm JB Bryan, the creator of AfroEconomics, a strategic financial empowerment program based on 10 timeless financial principles like generational wealth and legacy, financial knowledge, credit confidence, entrepreneurship, self-reliance, and more. AfroEconomics gives you the guidance and tools you can use to develop and sustain wealth. Check out AfroEconomics on your favorite social media platforms. You will find us everywhere. Plus, enjoy my weekly AfroEconomics podcast. There are many levels of AfroEconomics membership, including the free online access membership level called No Excuses. So make no excuses and check out AfroEconomics.com today. Powered by JB Bryan Financial Group, Incorporated, a registered investment advisory firm. #AfroEconomics.
#AfroEconomics. Bye, Sissy. Bye-bye.